Hey guys, HDV here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon video. Now, I recently made a video on the channel a few weeks back going over the top 5 hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you guys really seemed to enjoy it. However, it was pretty clear to me in the comments section that I missed a good number of Pokemon out, and so with that being said, today's video acts as a part 2 to that video. Now, first things first, let me just say that all of these Pokemon on the list are difficult to evolve without using the EXP Shear. I got a lot of comments on my last video from people saying that using the EXP Shear makes the Pokemon much easier to evolve, and whilst that is true, for this video we won't be taking that item into account. It's been really cool to see some brand new evolution methods being introduced in the new generation, but some methods are definitely harder to accomplish than others. Of course, we already know of some Pokemon that are quite difficult to evolve in Pokemon Sun and Moon, such as Goodra, but today's top 5 only focuses on the new Pokemon, seeing as, well, that's what we're bothered about at the moment. If you disagree with any of the Pokemon on my list and feel that you have a better option that would have fit in the video, then please leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. With introductions out of the way though, let's get started, and I really hope that you enjoy the video. Starting things off and claiming the number 5 spot in today's video is Cutie Fly. The first thing to mention about this Pokemon is that its stats are pretty mediocre. Having a stat total of 304 with only its speed stat standing out at 84 really doesn't help this Pokemon out much in battle, especially when you're trying to take down opponents to level it up. The good news however though is that Cutie Fly evolves into its evolution Ribombe at level 25. The bad news though is that all of the moves that Cutie Fly learns up to level 25 are pretty poor, with only the real decent move being Silver Wind, and that move only has a base power of 60. Paired with Cutie Fly's special attack stat of only 55, it doesn't look like this Pokemon is going to be doing much damage at all. Being a dual typing of Bug and Fury also means that this Pokemon is weak to a total of 5 types, being Fire, Poison, Steel, Rock, and Flying. This is of course better than a lot of Pokemon who have much more weaknesses, but it still doesn't help Cutie Fly out at the end of the day. For all of these reasons, Cutie Fly takes the number 5 spot in today's video. Coming in at the number 4 spot in today's video is Jupider. Now, before you guys say anything, I know that this Pokemon gets one of the most broken abilities in the Pokemon games, being Water Bubble, but Jupider can't actually use it very well, meaning that it doesn't really help it out when trying to level it up. This is because Jupider has a very low stat total of only 269, meaning it can't hit very hard at all. And yes, I know that Water Bubble doubles the damage of water type attacks, but the only water moves that this Pokemon learns until evolving into its evolved form Araquanid are Bubble and Bubble Beam, which when paired with its very poor special attack stat of only 40, it isn't going to be doing a whole lot of damage to your opponent. Jupider also only has a speed stat of 27, meaning that it is most likely always going to take the first hit in a battle. Not exactly something you want when you're trying to evolve this little guy. Luckily though, this Pokemon evolves into Araquanid starting at level 22, which is why it is so high on this list. So because of these reasons, Jupider takes the number 4 spot in today's top 5 video. Claiming the number 3 spot in today's top 5 video is Mantis. Mantis is mainly on this list because of its incredibly poor stat total. Coming in at a very low 250, Mantis is going to be incredibly difficult to level up, seeing as it will barely be able to defeat any Pokemon that it comes up against. As well as this, you have to get this Pokemon all the way up to level 34 before you can evolve it into its evolution Lurantis. As well as this, being a grass type means that Mantis is weak to a total of 5 different types, being Fire, Ice, Poison, Flying, and Bug. And paired with this Pokemon's incredibly poor defense stats of 35 means that Mantis won't be taking many hits before it faints when you have it out in battle. Mantis also only really has one decent attacking move in Razor Leaf until you get it to level 23, in which it learns Leaf Blade. So if you come up against a Pokemon that resists grass type attacks, you know you'll be switching this little plant out because it really won't be doing any damage. Because of all of these reasons, Mantis is rewarded with the number 3 spot in today's top 5 video. Coming in at the number 2 spot in today's top 5 video is Sandygast. While having a strange design in general because, well, it's a sandcastle, Sandygast is also pretty difficult to evolve in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Firstly, this Pokemon doesn't evolve into its evolved form Palossand until it gets all the way up to level 42, which is already no easy task on its own. Paired with this, Sandygast only has a stat total of 320, meaning that this Pokemon won't be much help in battle, making leveling it up that much more difficult. It also doesn't help that this Pokemon's speed stat is a measly 15, so your Sandygast will be taking a hit pretty much all the time before it can do anything. And whilst this Pokemon does have a decent physical defense stat, its special defense stat and HP don't really help it out at all. Being a dual typing of Ghost and Ground also mean that this Pokemon is weak to a total of 5 types, being Water, Grass, Ice, Ghost and Dark. Sandygast is also predominantly a special attacking Pokemon. However, the only moves that it learns that hit on the special side are Absorb, Mega Drain, Giga Drain and Shadow Ball. But it doesn't even learn Giga Drain and Shadow Ball until after level 36, meaning that you're stuck with Absorb and Mega Drain for a pretty long time, and these moves aren't even stab. For all of these reasons, Sandygast takes the number 2 spot in today's video. Claiming the number 1 spot in today's video is Mourinho. Now, not only is Mourinho really difficult to capture in the first place in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but it's also pretty difficult to evolve too. As well as this, it doesn't evolve into its evolution Toxapex until level 38, which yes isn't as high as Sandygast evolving into Palossand, but at the end of the day it's still pretty high. Like most Pokemon on this list, Mourinho also doesn't have the best stat total. Coming in at only 305, its stats across the board are pretty poor, which doesn't give this Pokemon much of a chance at taking its opponent down in battle. This isn't the main issue with this Pokemon though. The biggest problem is that Mourinho's only attacking moves up until level 25 where it learns Venoshock are Poison Sting, Peck and Bite, all of which aren't going to be doing much damage, especially with this Pokemon's really poor stats. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel though, because when you do finally hit that beautiful level of 38 with this Pokemon, it becomes Toxapex, which we all know is an absolute monster in the competitive scene, and so is definitely worth the hardships that you will face when trying to evolve your Mourinho. But with that, wraps up this video. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. If you did enjoy the video though, please leave a like, I'd really appreciate it. Like I said at the start of the video, if you know of any other difficult Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Sun and Moon that didn't make the list, then be sure to leave it in the comment section below. I also have a couple top 5s coming onto your screen in a second, so be sure to give them a watch if you have the time. And also subscribe if you like my content. That's everything from me though, so thanks for watching guys, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.